I think we also have to consider how those reports have been interpreted in other publications and in subsequent biographies. It seemed to me that there was this emphasis on some of the more negative reviews to, I guess, reinforce this narrative of professional decline. So in part 3 of our series on Aloha from Hawaii, when we were looking at some of the contract issues and some of the other things that were happening after January 1973, I actually put to Gary that I thought that some of these reviews had been selectively used. I'm not sure that he entirely agreed. Certainly some off nights, even up until, there were some great shows, great tight shows, powerful shows right up to the end. How do you see it?
I think that the narrative is basically sound, because when you were talking about the future, the shows that were planned and booked that Elvis never lived to perform, I'm shaking my head thinking, there's no way, I can't envision Elvis Presley having lived one day longer than he did, knowing what we know about the final years and his health. And it fits the narrative to say the concerts were getting erratic. He was not sounding good. I mean, you can hear it from later live recordings. A simple thing like breath control, holding a note, there's incredibly different from even 2 or 3 years earlier. But like you say, he still had dynamism wired into his being. He could still turn it on when he was out there in front of fans. And I think even in Goralnik's book, while we see negative reviews of shows and whatnot, there's still interviews with his band members and whatnot that we've read in other sources as well that say, oh man, there was some nights where we were all in the pocket. He was on fire. He really delivered. So in a way, the guy could perform in his sleep, and I think he often maybe did. And so the highs and lows were related more to just highs and lows. Like you referenced a bunch of other groups and bands. It happens to everybody. Sometimes they're just not on. He had a lot of reasons to not be on night to night, just his health and his life. And I always think of the mental aspect of the round and round. I'm just supporting a lot of people, which would have kept him going as well. I can't just quit and look after my health. People are going to lose their homes. And
just for a bit of additional context in terms of the wider conversation, the book that Gary referred to there was Peter Goralnik's Careless Love, The Unmaking of Elvis Presley, which I had argued in an otherwise excellent and impeccably researched biography perhaps lacked a little balance in the way it applied some of the reviews during this period. So huge thanks to our leading contributor, Gary Wells.